Jumping Flash 2, Big Trouble in Little Moo.
Hello, hello, hello indeed. Welcome to Jumping Flash 2. I'm Infinity Gene, and I'm going to walk you through any percent. I'm also in a Discord call at the moment, so someone else can hear me currently, so I'm only just putting that out, just so, why not? You know, just a bit of fun. But, yeah, we're going to be doing a little playthrough of the any percent run. We're going to be timing this with RTA timing instead of IGT, just because normally when we do speedruns of this, we have to manually input the times, because we base it on the in-game timer instead. But for a marathon's sake, we're going to be doing RTA timing. So, without further ado, we're going to get started in 3, 2, 1, go! So, what is Jumping Flash? Well, the objective of Jumping Flash is simple. You have to collect four collectibles in each level, and then get to the exit. But the main mechanic of the game is jumping. As you can see, we are leaping all over the place, collecting these beloved Moo-Moos, which are the residents or the inhabitants of the islands that we're exploring. So you get up to 3 jumps. You can control each of the jumps the way you want. I did a poor jump there, that's fine. Gonna avoid this beloved Kiwi there, the big green ball that keeps walking around saying Kiwi all the time. Kiwis are beautiful creatures, if you ever see them. I don't think they're extinct. However, I haven't done my geography for a while, so maybe they are. But anyway, we're going to collect the last Moo-Moo, and then we're going to jump all the way to the exit. And probably finish in the level with 40 seconds. Yeah, 41. So, as you can see, we're doing RTA timing, so it's going to be quite similar to how my IGT timing is. But yeah, you collect all 4 Moo-Moos, get to the exit, simple. And that's the sort of platforming side of things for this game. Then there's also the combat side, which we're going to be doing on each of the levels. We're going to be preparing for the boss fight at the end of each world. But for now, we're going to jump over this flying whale, because whales clearly fly in the sky. It's such a... I don't know how to describe it, really. It's such a bizarre environment, this game. Like, with all these things everywhere. Like, with enemies that are shaped like burgers that throw pickles at you. Like, why not? You know, that's just how silly this game is. But this was also one of the early PlayStation 1 games as well for its time. Jumping Flash 1 came out in 1995, around the time when the PlayStation 1 came out. Funny enough, Jumping Flash 1 came out when, well, it came out 3 days after my birthday, when I was born. So we're going to go onto this jump pad here, and we can use it to carry some of the momentum from the jumps, which we can land close to the exit, but we sort of slipped off a little bit there. It's a little bit hard to control it sometimes, because you've got to make sure that you actually aim towards the exit on the jump pad. So, with that done, we're going to be moving on to the first boss fight. The first boss fight is a Robo Shark, as indicated by the big yellow triangle boss icon then that we just saw. So with the boss fights, we're going to be using our main cannon, which is this, and we're also going to be using our special weapons that we've collected, as well as jumping on the enemy. And basically, with a combination of all that, we can quickly wipe out the boss in a few seconds, like so. And of course, ideally, all the time save is going to come from pretty much the bosses. So, if we can finish off the boss really quickly, that's good. Sometimes we can't though, and that's down to RNG. Each boss has different unique attacks. The shark has one particular attack where it charges away from us and then charges towards us again, which loses us a boatload of time, and that's not usually good. I also forgot to remove the cutscenes as well, but that's not a problem because we skip them anyway, so we only lose, what, half a second on RTA timing. For IGT, it doesn't matter. What does matter is us restarting the level the moment we start a new world. Now, what that does, it reduces our life count by 1, but it does refill our special weapons with a cherry bomb, which is really, really good. And we do allow this in speedruns as well. So we're going to pick up the first Moo-Moo and then pick up this Roman candle. Roman candles are a laser type weapon, which is going to be extremely useful for the upcoming boss fight, as we collect Moo-Moo number 2. Moo-Moo number 3 is up on this sort of pagoda style thing up here. It's like a pagoda that's moving around. But that's not a pagoda, that's a pagoda down there on the left. So I need to know my architecture a bit more. But I got onto this bouncing drum, then move backwards onto the exit. As you can see, some of these levels are very fast paced. Sometimes you have to try and keep up with the pace of the game as well. Like, some of these levels end in 20 seconds, 25 seconds. This next level that's coming up ends in roughly about 68, 69 seconds. Why do I know this? Because it has the funny number, and I remember the funny number for this level. But this level's a little bit of a different design. We're inside this time. So we're in an indoors environment, so we can't fall off the map, but it still doesn't make things exactly easy. There's a lot of turning around, a lot of movement on this level. We have to jump up the stairs so we don't slow down, because it's actually slower to walk up the stairs and go down them. So we're going to go grab Moo Moo number 2, which is located over here. And now we're going to go into the first underwater section of the run. There is another underwater section coming up later. It just basically slows down the movement, just naturally, but you can still do all your jumps and everything. In this room in particular, we're just going to jump all the way to this ledge here, and we don't want to go anywhere near that whirlpool, otherwise it will suck us in, and it will waste a lot of time. So again, just keep jumping up all the stairs, and then we're pretty much approaching the end of the level already. So, when you first play this game, it's going to be quite mazy to begin with, but once you obviously understand the route that you're doing, then everything's all good. What matters is, as long as you pick up these special weapons, you need these weapons for all the bosses. Otherwise, you're going to lose a lot of time. Oh, no. I don't think we're going to make it. And we're going to get the funny number? Nope, we got 68 instead. So that's even better, but I wanted the funny number. So with that, we're moving on to the Samurai boss fight. Now, this boss fight's kind of unique because it has a weak spot on this boss for some reason. On its belly button, it's like a glowing disc that we need to basically jump on and shoot at as many times as possible. Why this one has a weak spot, I don't know. They just added it in. So you can see the belly button here. So we want to just try and hit it as much as possible. And you can see we're doing a lot of damage there. And then we should be able to finish in one jump. There we go. And again, you can use your laser while using your cannon weapon as well, which is really good.
All right.
Nice. Very good. So with that, we're done with World 2. We're moving on to World 3, which is not exactly one of my favourite worlds. It has probably some of the worst platforming levels of the run, just because some of the platforming is a little bit tight on this world, including the boss fight, which has a mechanic to regenerate HP. But we'll get more into that later. Right now, we're going to start 3-1, and as always, we're going to restart the level, use a life, and then get an extra smart bomb. Or a cherry bomb, I should call it.
Let's do it.
So we want to go to this tumbling rock over here, and then just jump again all the way over to the moon. Again, depending on when you do your jumps, you can do longer jumps, you can do higher jumps. You can determine your jumps by using the gauge on the right, which is really helpful for Jumping Flash 2. Because funny enough, it's not present in Jumping Flash 1. So Jumping Flash 1 is a little bit harder to play, I would say, just because you don't have that gauge. So we're going to move backwards into this move, and then we can just move forward. Because I know where that move is anyway, so I can just easily walk backwards into it. So we're going to grab number 3, and then we're going to have to time our jump a little bit careful here, so we don't waste too much time in the air. But we have enough to get to the move. That's perfect. Nice. Really good there. And then we'll go straight to the exit. Again, some levels are going to be a little bit longer than others. And that was a really good level. Really happy with that. 3-2, it's reasonably simple, but we have to pick up some extra weapons on 3-2 for the boss fight. Otherwise, we're going to lose about 15-20 seconds, which is not ideal. The icons that you might have noticed down at the bottom left after we finish a level are the performance medals. You get different performance medals for doing different things.
Let's do it.
So, obviously in most levels, I don't really attack any enemies because there's no point. They don't have any benefit to the gameplay, they're just more of an aesthetic thing, but it's also for like the 100% completion thing of the game. You use those to unlock the different AI voices for Robert, which is our main protagonist. So that's a bit unfortunate that we missed that, but that's fine, because we can jump there for the cherry bomb. And then we get the twisters, and then we get the moon. So we're going to jump up to this waterfall up here. And I'm just going to get the power pill, just to show off what it is. It's the power pill, which is essentially a star from Super Mario, with the whole psychedelic effect. I love it. It's very flashy as well, so this might have to have a flashing warning, just in case. We're going to try and do a long jump all the way there, which we made. That's actually one of the harder jumps to do in the run, so I'm glad I got it. That frog was in the way. And there we go, straight to the exit. We can even land on the exit even with an enemy on there. So we're actually sharing the platform. But yeah, so when it comes to some of these jumps, they're super tight. But that's why I like this game, because it's more skill-based than anything. the bosses are a little bit RNG, but the gameplay is pretty solid for skill-based gameplay, I guess. So, World 3-3, plant boss. I'm going to throw a smart bomb to begin with, and then we're just going to jump on this plant as much as possible, and then use another smart bomb, hopefully to force it into its regen cycle early. Oh, unfortunate. It's doing another attack first, and now it's regenerating. That's what we wanted. So now we want to do a high jump and land on it the moment its regen ends. And then just finish it off, basically. There we go. This boss is really awkward, just because, again, it used an extra attack, which means we lost a bit of time. So there's no control over that. You've just got to be quick with your attacks and make sure that you finish it off as soon as possible. Otherwise, it's going to keep chaining more and more attacks. Some of them take like 10 seconds to finish. So, and with that, we're halfway through the game. So far, it gives you a bit of an overview of how the gameplay is. And we have Captain Kabuki down in the bottom right saying naughty, naughty in that cutscene, but we had to skip it, unfortunately. So now we're moving on to the industrial world, I'll call it. And again, we reset with the cherry bomb, and then we start.
Let's do it.
It's kind of interesting because the themes for both Jumping Flash 1 and 2 are very, very similar. Even the boss designs and everything. To the point where they're sort of the same game. I would say the level design itself is probably the only difference, and maybe a couple of the bosses. So we're going to use this boost pad up here, just to jump all the way over there. Didn't want to over jump then, otherwise I'd go launching into the distance. Grab number 2. And then with this one here, specifically, we want to go onto this platform up here, and then we can just walk off the edge and grab him. That's the best way to grab that one, otherwise you're probably going to spend 10 seconds trying to grab him, thinking, how on earth can I grab him, because he keeps moving up and down too much. Grab T, and then we can get to the exit. Ow. The mosquito just zapped my face.
All right.
There we go. And we got a gold for that as well. But again, this is RTA timing, so I can't really tell what kind of pace I'm on for my IGT timing, because I'll have to retime this afterwards. But I've got a reasonably good PB, I think. I think it was like 4th place, I remember, 4th or 5th place, and there's about 12 runners, so it's pretty good. And now we're onto another indoors level. This is probably the longest level of the entire run. And it's pretty much a bit of a walking sim. This is probably the best moment if this gets into a marathon for any messages or donations, for sure. But basically, we're going through all these different elevator systems. And as I mentioned before, this is very similar to 4.2 in Jumping Flash 1, because there's elevator systems in that and everything, and it's an indoors level. So it's kind of like they just copied the design, but just changed the theme of it, really. So instead of it being an ice world, it's more of a lava world in this one. Oops, I didn't mean to aggro him. So these little dung beetles here, they'll roll up big bombs, and those bombs can do quite a lot of damage, so you've got to be careful. Because you can actually still die in some levels, not just from falling off the map, but you can actually die from just taking too much damage, especially with some boss fights. Oops, trying to get into this corridor here. So we're going to ignore that weapon there, because we're hoping to get another weapon in a moment. Ideally, we're going to hopefully try and get some lasers. Nope, didn't get a drop then. And that's not a problem. We can pick up an extra weapon near the end of the level. These TV monitors also get in the way as well. Basically, if you get anywhere near them, they'll just go straight towards you and body block you. And that's probably the biggest issue with this run. Enemies can body block you all over the place, and you just got to navigate past them. There's a lot of optimization when it comes to this run, I would say, excluding the bosses, because the bosses are just totally random. So you can see there, the body blocked me then from jumping, so I just bonked into the ceiling, essentially. So we're going to try and grab this laser on the right here, because for this boss fight in particular, we need these special weapons. Otherwise, this boss fight is going to take forever.
All right.
And again, it's definitely the longest level. It takes about 90 to 100 seconds, roughly. So, again, if we got another weapon drop early, then we would have probably saved a little bit of time. But that's not a problem. The spider boss that's coming up, we have to do something specific. So, at the start of the fight, we need to basically shoot it without moving. Otherwise, it's going to go immediately to the ceiling and make it awkward.
Let's do it.
Okay. So you have to time this kind of right, otherwise this boss fight is just going to be a problem to finish. There we go. Oh, so it just went on the ceiling then. And if it goes on the ceiling, you have to basically shoot it
All
upwards.
right.
Which you can manually aim to look up and shoot, but again, the only thing you can use at that point is your normal cannon, which is kind of weak and you can't jump on the boss. You can't use your special weapons because you've used them all, so it's a boss fight you have to be super quick on, otherwise it just becomes problematic. Moving on to the 5th world, which is sort of the theme park / clown world. This also exists in Jumping Flash 1. This is specifically World 3 in that game. So, and it's got similar mechanics as well. Like, it's got similar coaster designs and everything. Because on this one, you can ride the roller coasters, which is quite fun. So we're about to see that in a second. You can see a flying kiwi in the left then. Absolutely adorable. And yeah, the roller coasters are automatic, so the moment you walk onto them, they just basically pull you along in the direction they're going. There's another kiwi. Lovely things. Go on to the next roller coaster. Again, you want to try and stay out of the air for as long as possible, because if you stay in the air for too long, then you're wasting time. I'm going to do 2 high jumps to this roller coaster here. Didn't mean to pick up the Roman candle, but that's not a problem because we can use it for the boss fight. We'll get another one soon anyway. Going to pick up E and then go into this roller coaster here. So there's a lot of riding coasters. And we're going to grab the last one and then move backwards and then just go to the exit. Oh, come on.
All right.
I assumed that I was landing on it, but I was ever so slightly off, just by a tiny bit. Oh, God, I feel embarrassed now. Damn. So with that, we're moving on to 5-2. So we're getting close to the end of the game already. We've only got one more world after this world. 5-2 is a little bit long as well, but it's quite fun. So you go onto this giant cannon here, which launches you into the sky. And now you have to do a kind of a long jump here. So you have to do some delayed jumps, basically. You want to make sure not to delay your jumps too much, because if you miss your extra jump, you lose it. So if your gauge basically depletes, you can't jump again until you land. And landing classes as landing on an enemy or the floor or something, so... And this level works on a decent cycle here, so you need to make sure that you get that cycle and then just get to everywhere you need to go before you miss that cycle, because there's a hot air balloon that we need to ride in a few seconds. So we're just going to grab this move here.
One left.
Turn around. It's better just to stop and turn around there. Try and do some jumps here to the cards. Ooh. Gonna go onto this mat. It's a bouncy mat as well, that's pretty cool. Grab the move. And just get out of here.
All
There we go.
right.
Very good. So now we're going on to the 5-3 boss. This boss in particular has 2 bosses to it. But the boss you want to focus on is the one that's got the gold sort of collar on it. Or the gold ball. Because the green one will die first when half of the boss HP is gone. This boss can do one attack that we don't want it to do, which is this sort of jumping, spinning attack. So it's this gold one that we're focusing on. And it's doing an attack we can do, yeah, that's fine. So the thing you have to keep in mind as well, the higher that we fall and the higher that we land, the more damage we deal as well. But that's not always the best thing to do. Sometimes if you miss your jump, then obviously you're going to lose all that damage. There we go. So we're going to save a little bit of time here on the old RTA timing here.
All right.
Nice. And again, that clown boss can go either way. If it does its jumping, spinning attack, you're not going to deal as much damage there because it kind of kills your jump. So you still do the land, and you still land the jump, and then you still deal the damage, but it doesn't deal enough, basically, so you end up being on that boss even longer. And now we're into the final world, where Captain Kabuki is just not happy anymore, because we keep destroying all of its jarred up worlds. And this is the last platformer level, basically. So again, reset for the cherry bomb. And then we're going to jump onto these stars up in the sky here. Now we're going to do a really high, long jump over here. Nice, just made it. Gonna get that move, pull down straight away to get the second move. And again, that was a timing thing. If we miss that, then we have to go find them again. We're going to try and jump on this. Ooh. Do a double jump there. It kind of looks scary because it looks like I'm jumping into nothing at times, but there are things that I can land on everywhere, like this star up here. So we're going to go up here to get another cherry bomb for later, because we need it for the upcoming boss. Because on this world in particular, there are 2 boss fights that we need to deal with. So we need as many weapons as possible. But yeah, we're heading straight to the exit pretty much in a second. I love the music here, but we're going to get the power pill music because we actually have to find another weapon if we can. So we're going to... Ooh, nice. Got twisters. So again, it's totally your RNG if you get a weapon drop or not. But power pill just helps because you don't have to shoot the enemies then. Now this is a long jump. This is not going to make it to the exit directly, but it will land next to it. So we have 3 weapons, which is really good. We're going to use all 3 of them for this next boss fight, because 6-2 is another boss as well. So we're just going to shoot it, spam as much as possible, and just get rid of it quickly, because, yeah, it's... this boss fight can actually kill you, if you're not careful. So we're going to use Cherry Bomb to begin with, and miss our landing, because that's absolutely intentional, clearly. Oh, it's using its claw attack. Oh, it's doing this random attack again. So it does like a sort of crystal attack, then it does a laser attack, which this is the worst thing to avoid. Oh. So that didn't go according to plan, unfortunately. How do I explain that point? So, you can do multiple things. There's sort of like a phase 2 to the boss, where if you deal too much damage, it'll go into like a spin attack. And I can hear someone drilling upstairs. But it can do a spin attack, which moves the boss all around the arena, and it's just not good that. So, but not a problem. We're moving on to the final boss, 6-3. Again, we're going to reset for the cherry bomb. This is a little bit risky at this point, because basically, at this point, if we run out of HP, we have to do the whole world again. Which isn't a big issue, but it's because we don't have any lives left, basically, So Captain Kabuki, again, it's quite similar to the one in Jumping Flash 1, but just to explain it, there's 3 attacks that Captain Kabuki can do right now. One of them is like a heart attack, one's a sort of like sonic wave attack, and then one of them is like a rocket fist attack. So the heart attacks are fine because it gives us more time to land onto Captain Kabuki. We're deliberately saving our cherry bomb for a later phase, because this boss has 3 phases to it. So this is the robot phase, then it's going to go into tank phase in a second. We're going to use the bomb there, just to deal a bit more damage. Oops. So it's hard to land on the boss at this point because of these crystals being everywhere, but we got him there. And then we're going to jump onto its core, and then we should be done. There we go. And time is coming up in 3, 2, 1. Time. And yeah, that is the end of Jumping Flash 2. It's quite a, as I mentioned, it's quite a skill-based game for sure. But there's a lot of RNG and a bit of randomness to it, which makes this game really exciting to run all the time. And we get a #1 trophy medal as well, for our trouble as well. And the ending is that Captain Kabuki says, oh no, explodes into blah blah blah, whatever, sure. I don't know why back in the day, like everything, like all the enemies exploded, like look at Power Rangers, you know, they use swords, but for some reason they all explode. But yeah, so the evil villain, Baron Aloha from the first game is like, yeah, thanks for helping. Because the Moo-Moos are all of his sort of minions, basically. So think of him as like Gru, and these are the minions. But the Moo-Moos are the inhabitants of these worlds as well. So obviously they're all cheering Robert on, you know, Robert, well done. But of course, that can't be the end of this story. Surely there's something else going on behind the scenes. And also the announcer on this is just great as well. Like the voice reminds me of Aaron from like Game Grumps for some reason. So, but yeah, that is pretty much the end of this run. I hope that you take into consideration for the submission, for the marathon, sorry. But oh no, they're working together now. And basically what happens is now that we finish the full game, we unlock the extra mode. The extra mode, just to quickly explain, it's the same sort of levels, but the whole layout's changed. The Moo positions have
Jumping
changed. You have
Flash
less
2,
HP.
True Faces of
So-
Baron Aloha.
But yeah, with that said and done, that is it. So thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.